Hello, 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 people. Yes, you're welcome to the Puff Puff Show. And yeah, we've got Master L in the building, fam. It's 2022, and as usual, you got your guy, Dr Timey. What's going on, G? What's going on? It's good to have you here, man.
What's up, people? Welcome back. I feel great to be back. It's been some time now. We're loving it. We're back to cook something sweet, something hot, something spicy for the Puff Puff Show. So let's go.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's been a while though. 2021 was a bit of a funny one still. A lot happened, and I'm sure a lot happened for you as well.
Yeah,
yeah, it was a weird one, isn't it? Wasn't it?
It was definitely a weird one. Everyone had to go regroup, recuperate. There was so much that 2020 took out, with the whole lockdown situation, and with all the different restrictions and things like that. You're never quite sure which one is which. So to be coming out of it finally, it just feels like we've crossed a significant hurdle. But for me, it was all about reinventing myself. I had to go back and dig deep, come back energized, come back focused. In 2022, we're back at it now, and just looking forward to give the people what they want, and that's what it's all about.
I was getting worried about this whole travel restriction because I was traveling a lot, and I did have quite a lot of experience, which is what we're going to be talking about anyways, which is about this traveling, malarkey, especially for those of us who travel to Nigeria quite a lot. Traveling to Nigeria, you got a lot of traveling experiences, and you got the good, the bad, the ugly, isn't it?
Fam, I mean, traveling was a significant thing, coming out of COVID, because Sir Omicron, was coming out doing its thing. All the governments, putting all the different restrictions. Man, how many tests do you have to do before you can get on a plane? Completely. We have to say, it was all for good intentions, keeping people safe. From a traveling perspective, it was just an additional thing that you just had to be concerned about. So even your traveling experience now, you start off with a traveling experience. Normally you're thinking, right, gotta get my flight, gotta get where I'm going, gonna pack light, pack heavy. Next thing you're thinking about, okay, when do I need to do this COVID test? Okay, 24 hours. Is it 36 hours?
Is it 3 hours? Bro, that thing was stressful. And I tell you what, it was even more stressful, like figuring out your actual result before you travel, because towards the Omicron stage, it became even tighter. Like going to America was 24 hours. I think Nigeria made theirs like 48 hours.
48,
Everyone used to be 72.
It used to be,
but it used to be, but it all changed. But going to Nigeria, let's talk about that one. So going to Nigeria, you had to do a couple of things. So you had to have your COVID test going in, as well as you had to fill out this other thing on the portal, this Nigerian COVID portal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So you had to do that. Yeah, and you had to pay some money. I think it came to like maybe like 40k naira. Yeah. And you had to book where you are. To be honest, I never really understood when you got in what day it was that you were supposed to take this test.
Oh yeah. So the whole thing about doing your test, day 2, and day 0 is supposed to count like, as soon as you get into the country. And everyone was kind of counting it differently. I think, in the UK it was technically like once you landed, that was your day 0. And then in Nigeria it was a little bit confusing, because sometimes you were like, okay, was it the day that I came in that you started counting, or was it the next day, started counting for it? So it's kind of one of those things that, when it came to, getting into the country, you're sort of thinking, right, okay, now I've got to go do this test now. But the thing about it was that, some people were saying, well, as long as you do it before day 2, so you don't have to wait till day 2 to do it, then that's okay.
Well, to be honest, I wasn't really sure, because most times I took it when I was coming back out to the UK. So I wasn't really sure. Even with the isolation bit, I wasn't really sure how many days you were supposed to isolate. It was all very confusing, but we thank God, we're kind of like a little bit settled. Boris, who was having a gig, let's just point that one out. Who was having a gig when people were like on a lot. I'm telling you, Bojo is on a different level, man. But anyway, so Boris is, kind of said, everyone, we have to start living with this stuff now. So restrictions are a bit less now, at least coming into the UK. Nigeria is still asking for COVID test, and all that kind of stuff. But let's run into what we wanted to talk about. Let's kind of start going into that space. Now, the traveling experience, right, at the airport, especially in Nigeria. I've got a little bit of, a thing with that whole experience, man, because people frustrate me in one way, and kind of like, I don't really understand how these guys think. And a lot of the times, I don't really like a lot of the comment about, oh, this country is really hard, rare, the government ain't doing this and this and that. I'm like, but you've got a job though. Like, you've literally got a job. Like, you literally are, airport desk agent or airport desk customer services. Or you're kind of like a security or immigration. And the thing about it that gets to me is the begging, bruv. Let's just call it what it is. The begging, bruv.
So for me, right, I think it always starts for me like when I'm thinking about going to Nigeria, it's almost like I put on a different mindset. Like I have like a different head on, because I know that there's certain things that you're going to just have to expect. You're going to expect for them to be a little bit more heavy-handed, because you're coming in from outside the country. They expect you to be a little bit more loaded in the pocket, so to speak. So there's always that insinuation that you have to do something for the boys, right? And I guess there are ways to always look at that, right? So you could almost kind of have that perception that, okay, I'm gonna go there, I'll crack jokes with them, I'll play with them, and sometimes that actually gets you through the process. Now, if you sort of come in and you've got a very strong face and you're sort of like, okay, let me prove my right, because it's Nigeria. Nobody's proving right to anybody, right? So you're coming in and you kind of, because for these guys, right, this is their kingdom, right? This is where they've got their power, and they want to exercise it, so they would put up a defense if you come in and start challenging them. So
I know what you're saying, but it's a bit frustrating though that they kind of make the process quite frustrating. So so going in is one thing, coming out is another. The begging really comes in when you're coming back, right? When you're coming out of Nigeria, isn't it? But going in, like you said, you get there, you meet the immigration guy. We're going to talk about a couple of things, because I want to talk about salaries. Because I want to bring some stuff to the fore. Why I don't think they should be doing that thing of the whole asking people for money. Like, just imagine, you're coming into the UK and the guy checking your passport at the thing says, oh, you're right, mate. Can you put like £5 in my pocket, bruv? I haven't eaten, like, the government, Boris and that. They're not really doing stuff, bruv. Like, it doesn't make any sense, baba. Because at the end of the day, you don't get those guys talking to you about giving them £5, £10 just for checking your passport and that. But going into Nigeria, that's what you get. You get these guys talking to you and trying to be nice. So what I've started doing, like you said, I don't get too arsey about that now. So what I do, I go into a bit of a joke and I say, look, bro, I'm hustling. I've just come down to get the money that you guys are making as well. That's kind of like my opening line about this whole give me some bread, give some bread for the boys.
So let's talk about this, give me some bread, because obviously, there is certain things that are coming into play here. First of all, the economic situation of the people, that are doing this job. Some of those guys, it is almost like they're working for tip, because what they're potentially earning at the end of the month is not going really far. So it's it's almost like you're sitting there at the bank, and people are coming in and and counting money, and you're counting all this money, and then you've got a responsibility to count the money, and then you're not being taken care of. You make you start to feel some kind of way. So I get it that things for them may not be exactly how they want. So clearly they've seen this as an opportunity to just get something a little bit extra, because listen, they in a day they could make what they make in a month, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, it's a job though. So let's talk about coming back, right? So going in, you don't get as many beggings, right? You don't get these guys like trying to rip you. Yes, they used to try and make things difficult. Just as you're about to exit out, you got the immigration guys standing there trying to check your bags and that. Sometimes if you got like new pair of clothing, like new pair of shoes, they want to go down the route of, oh, you need to pay like VAT or some kind of like duty tax, whatever it is. They try and go down that route, just to get some money out of you. But I've noticed that when you're going into Nigeria, that is not really, they don't really make a fuss as they used to, right? So I'll give them some credit. There is still some, try and drop some money at the immigration. I guess the immigration one is the one that's a bit much, because you're checking people's passports. This is something that's legal. This is something that's serious. So you shouldn't really be doing that. But we'll keep that one. But let's talk about coming back now, bro. Like you've gone to the Niger, you've done your lao, you had a good time, bro. For those who went in December when Boris was starting to be a proper, moving mad and that, right? You went to December, you had your dirty December, had a good time. Now you're coming back. You head up to the thing. First of all, you're gonna meet this person who's just a random security person. But initially, if you're not, conversant with what happens in Nigeria, you're gonna think this person is some kind of immigration person, right? So you're there saying, oh, you need to give a tip because they're likely gonna stop you, because Nigerians carry a lot of stuff. People carry everything. People carry snail. People carry tortoise. People carry like boiled monkeys. People carry all sorts of weird stuff, things smelling out of the bags. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you what happened to me when I went the last time. So there was this gentleman, right? He had like this big title in his name. He said that he's like some sort of agriculture something, right? I can't remember what it was. And basically he was like, I needed to come, and for him to check my bag, to see whether I've got any, things that could be pesticides and those sort of things. And it was kind of funny because it was the first time I've had like an official title for the name of the people that do that. Normally they'll be checking your bags, what's in the bag. Can you tell us do you have any cooked food, do you have any raw food, those sort of things. And then what was funny actually was that when he had checked our bag, and obviously we know it was us and the kids, so he was playing around with the kids. So a little bit of humor there. At the end, he made like a declarative statement, like something like, oh, we're here, to make sure that, you don't get into trouble and all that kind of thing. And, I was like, oh, okay. It was almost like he was sounding like, very professional. In terms of like rounding up the search. Normally, you do the search and then it's like, okay, do something for the boys. But he did the search, but then he was like, we are the agricultural people and we're here to help you make sure that this, that, and next time, just make sure that you don't do this. Then he started reeling out, a list of things that you shouldn't carry when you're traveling. And I thought to myself, that's interesting. He didn't actually ask for money.
Look, it's not all bad. And I'm going to share why I say so, because I have got my stories about people who, have done good. But let's focus on this begging. This begging does me to bits. So, I'm telling you, because the thing is, you carry some money, right? Let's just say you carry like 10,000 naira or whatever. And guys, let me tell you something. If you're not good at how you spread that money will finish before you even get to immigration, right? Because you go to the security person who is irrelevant, by the way. I'll be very honest. This security person has no relevance to the whole immigration checkup. But because if you have not been traveling to Nigeria, you don't know, because you're thinking, I'm carrying stuff stockfish that's smelling like 20 miles away. Everyone knows that this thing is in my bag. You're all worried about different stuff that you've got in the bag, because you don't want them to like stop it. So this person stops you, and then they start talking to you about money. You give that person, let's just say 2,000. Then your bag goes onto this table, right? It goes onto this table where you got these guys who are quoted to be NDLEA. I think they're guys who look out for drugs in bags, right? So you put your luggage on this table, right? They start asking you names. Hey, bring your passport. And then they say, oh, Mr. They look at your thing, and then they start trying to pronounce, oh, you're from here, you're from there. They start trying to like give you a little bit of, they soften you up, so do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So that bro, you gotta drop something before you leave here. So anyway, you run into a little bit of panic because you're thinking, look, if I don't drop anything, these guys are likely gonna, because there was a time this guy, I refused to drop money, and this guy just said to me, oh look, listen, you're gonna have to fill out a form stating all the stuff that you got in your bag in terms of food items that you should. I'm like, bro, like, don't make life difficult. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he just wanted to make life difficult. Do you know what I'm saying? And this is what they do all the time. They make life difficult when you're not trying to, play to the tune. So this guy kind of like, was being like that. But let's go back to what we're talking about. So you put the stuff on this table, right? NDLEA. That goes through, right? That goes through. You settle another $3,000 because you're not conversant with how much is really okay.
And
do you know what I mean? Because you already
were dropping stuff there.
Bro. No, trust me, I've learned my lesson, guy. I don't learn. So I am way better at this than you think. But I'm just saying, at the very early stages, when you didn't really know,
you don't know
how much. Because sometimes you got like 2-3 of them standing at that table. So dropping 1,000 naira, you're thinking that's too small. Dropping 2, they might challenge you. Then you go for 3. Okay, cool. 3, 2. You're already like 5k down. You got 5k left. Now you walk down to where you're supposed to be taking your flight. Now you get to meet the desk people who are checking in luggages. Now that is a totally different kettle of fish in terms of frustration, stress, and especially with this COVID thing, these guys had no processes in place. There's no difference between whether you're flying business, premium, economy. Even if you're like, holding the rope behind the plane, outside the plane, bro, there's no difference at all. They have no process. I mean, and the begging there is different level, man, because they create another frustration. Another level of frustration.
I mean, and I guess there's something to be said about whether there's differences between the airports that you go, whether Lagos or Abuja is different. I think, I know that most of our experiences are mostly in Lagos airport. But I mean, I agree with you. It does get to a certain level that it actually disrupts your whole sort of, flying experience, because especially, if you're, flying with your family and things like that, in your head, you're thinking of so many things, right? And at the same time, you're trying to multitask and just satisfy these people, because obviously you don't want them, to hold you up, because you're obviously trying to get in and check in, and you still have to go and do the whole weighing thing. And we know when we travel, we never carry the right weight, so there's always a bit of like taking stuff out. So you always have to account for the time, to do that. So in a way, you're almost like, you're kind of like, if I have to, drop a little bit to make my process easier, then you're kind of doing that. But I feel you like kind of, it's not, shouldn't be like that, right?
Yeah,
shouldn't be part of the flying experience.
Yeah, because when you're coming, right, let's say you're flying Virgin, right? You're flying Virgin, they only allow 23 kg. Most times they'd allow maybe up to 25, but then you're coming back, right? Nigeria wants it to be 22.9, bro. Anything more than that, bro, they're gonna like ask you to go and pay extra luggage. Now the whole point of that whole stress, if your luggage is like 23.5 or maybe 23.8, 23.9, 9. The whole point of that is they found an avenue for you to pay little money to them, or else they're going to frustrate your whole journey, right?
Yeah.
So they start these conversations, and this is done by the airport airport people, whatever, desk, whatever. And you see, the funny thing is, this is the other thing that I find funny, is that in Nigeria, the guys who actually help you in terms of like to your flight are not actually from the airline themselves. They're contracted to run those processes. And I find that weird, because I'm thinking, okay, Virgin, why don't you have your staff manned in Nigeria? And I think this is where us as Nigerians and people in Nigeria need to really start understanding our own value and our own integrity, because this is why we get treated certain ways. Because if they haven't seen it as something that's compulsory to have their staff manned at an airport for a flight that you're taking, I find that there's something that it's saying about us, because they've now contracted Nigerians to do this job, and these Nigerians now start making things difficult. You get your passport out. Now, don't get me wrong, there's some of them that are so helpful. They help you with filling out your things, and I don't mind giving the tip, because the other thing is, when you fly to America, everything's about tipping. In the UK, we're not really used to tipping, but in America it's the same thing. You tip people for helping you out, and to be honest with you, if you don't, they frown. You can't just go away and someone's done something for you and you haven't dropped like $5. And depending on where you've gone to in America, you can't drop $5. That person will spit at you and spit at your face and be like, bro, what's that? Who do you think you're giving $5? So tipping is not really an issue if you're helpful, bro. So let's just put that one out there.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? Because you touched on something there about the airlines and what they can or cannot do. Let's talk about it. Like you own an airline, and then you sort of had the license to like fly people in a particular country. Wouldn't you want to use the local people, to as part of your strategy? Because obviously, you want to go into a country and then you want to feel like you're also adding value to the people that are there, creating employment. So wouldn't you want to use the local staff and to sort of ease the operations?
I don't mind if you're going to use the local staff, as long as you actually train them in terms of process. But that's what they don't do. They let them to their own devices, and then when you call up to start complaining, they behave like, they don't really take you seriously, man. And that's what it is. They don't really train these guys. They don't really let them know that, look, you need to put processes in place. The same way they make things very difficult for you when you're flying out, because if you don't go with the process, then it's your fault. It's your thing that you haven't, followed the process. So in Nigeria, it's the other way around. It's more like we will make something for it to be a pitfall if you don't follow the process, so you can drop this cash. You know what I mean? So now you're traveling, you've got into this point where your baggage is an issue, right? For those who like to carry too much baggage. By the way, my Nigerian people, more cannot stop up. It's causing a lot of nightmare. You guys carry like 20 bags. One bag is weighing like 80 kilos.
Why that's the case, though? Why that's the case, though? Because when all man they travel, you've got to help somebody. If someone is going to be like,
I'm tired of that, bro. I am tired of that, bro. It's 2022. I'm tired. I don't mind. But the thing is, sometimes that's another conversation. But since you said it, we'll talk about it a little bit. I don't really mind. But I think like sometimes when you try to explain to people that I also have things, my bag isn't empty. Yeah. But then
it's just a little thing.
Bro, that's what they say. That's what they say. Someone says it's a little thing, and then before you know it, it's giving you a whole bag of Gary. Like a whole bag of Gary probably weighs like 100 kg. And it's like, bro, come on, man. I'm not going to feed the whole UK.
So I find that it's usually when I'm coming back from Nigeria, usually that I always make those requests. People are always like, get me some suya, can you get me this, give me some granules,
some kuli.
My sister's gonna bring something for you, and you'll be like, what is the person gonna bring? You'll be like,
some dry fish, some egusi.
Next to the person comes with a suitcase, filled with stuff, and you're thinking, well, hold on a second, I only agreed to like take one thing.
What's
going on here?
Well, you know what? Look, I've been a culprit as well, and because I travel regularly, I've kind of like repented from that behavior because I kind of realized that, look, listen, you have to be careful how much you give people, and you have to be understanding that if people don't have the space, don't like just give them so much, because the stress it causes at that airport, especially when you're coming from Nigeria. Those guys are so stressful, bro. They cause this, they just give you like anxiety because of that whole weight issue.
Of course now, and of course when you get in, you've got the security guys, people with the drug dogs, who
Do you know what I
come in and
mean?
sniff your bag.
Who's sniffing your bag?
And it makes you like, even, of course you've got nothing, right? But just the fact that the dogs are coming and like sniffing your bag, you make you start to think.
You don't sweat
like,
now. You don't sweat.
Is he gonna smell something? Is there something that they're gonna want to search my bag for?
Yeah.
I mean, I tell you, the last time when I went and I came back, just helping people, literally coming back, and then you're coming back with kids, and then you get in and you've got like 8 bags and stuff like that. The drama of getting all the different bags of trolley, and then trying to like navigate trolleys and stuff like that. All that creates attention, so clearly the guy was really disappointed when he brought the dog sniffing the bags and there was nothing.
And there was nothing to find.
I think the guy even made a comment like, "Oh, you didn't see anything?" I was like, what?
What?
Like,
are you expecting something, bro?
Like,
what you say? What you say?
Exactly. What are you trying to say to me?
Yeah, but no, I tell you what, it made it very difficult because you had to do this passenger locator form thing, right? You had to do this passenger locator form. Now, if you didn't fill the passenger locator form, which a lot of people didn't know how to do, and probably didn't even know they had to do it. So by the time they're there, you've not come to the airport really early. It takes a while to fill out that form. You've got to show your COVID test on the line. Again, an opportunity for someone to say, bro, you gotta drop something for the boys because passenger locator form ain't there. Your flight is gonna be leaving soon. Rare. So you're all stressed out because they're creating all these avenues. So you get to the table, these guys are checking your things. Before you know, the guy who's doing the desk check is kind of like, oh, and then you get people asking for driver's license. I'm like, bro, where are you from? Like literally, where are you from? You asked me for driver's license. If I gave it to you, you wouldn't even know if it's original or not.
Well, it's the code, right? Driver's license. I think as we're talking about this though, it does make me think about like my experiences when I go to other places, right?
Yeah.
When you're traveling, to somewhere in Europe, traveling to maybe the States or something.
Yeah.
I think even from a preparedness, point of view, like the way your mind is. We're gonna go and chill. We're gonna go relax.
Yeah.
So I think there is something to be said about what that whole experience does, to you even before you actually get on the trip. I guess with COVID you still gotta do tests, but what are the other things that you would expect not to do?
Well, number one, I'm not gonna expect anyone begging.
I knew you were gonna say that one.
Let's just say that one. Yeah. The only time I think I've had any difficulty is connecting flights, but that's to do more with the airline than the whole airport experience. It's more to do with the incompetency of the airlines and how they try and shaft you for your money, giving you bad service when they're connecting. Either they've been late and then you've missed your connecting flight because they've been late, and then they book you on another ticket. That's another experience I've had. They book you on another ticket, which is like hours down the line, like 7 hours down the line, and you're having to wait there. Apart from that, I don't think I've ever had, in terms of airport experience, nothing major. I think it's just the mindset of the people at the airport in Nigeria, where they just feel like, oh, they've got to beg to get the dough, anything for the boys. You get to the bit where after they've asked you to board, you get the guys that have to check you just before you get on the plane.
Yeah.
You remember that one?
Yeah,
again.
I don't like those ones, because I think for me at that point in time, all I want to do is get on the plane. Right, so you've checked my big luggage, my luggage been checked in, now I've got a hand luggage, maybe I've got some duty free stuff. At that point in time, all I just want to do is get on the plane. Now I get it, what you're trying to do. Obviously, there's an element of security and safety, and they're trying to make sure that people don't take things on the plane.
I found that a little bit of a why wouldn't you? Because when we're coming, or even in the US, when you're coming to the US or going to the US, once you've gone past security, you're not allowed to have food before you go past security. But once you've gone past security, anything you buy, you can take on the plane. Hence why you have Boots, you have all these different stores that sell, nibbles and snacks and stuff like that.
I think the only time you get away from that is if you potentially have little ones. I think they are.
Well, you mean in Nigeria they'll let you do
Nigeria, that? I think if you've got
so if you have
one,
kids,
you can almost pass it off as food for the kid. And you can carry
food for the kids, bro. You're gonna have to still drop some money though. You're still gonna have to still drop some money, bro.
No, that's standard. That's standard. I think like the whole sort of dropping money thing is pretty much standard. So when you're going out, you actually right. So for me, like when I take money, when I'm leaving Nigeria, I usually have two things in my mind, right? Money to get me out, but also money when I'm coming back in, because obviously you want to have some local currency when you're flying back in from the UK, because at that point in time, you want to be able to sort things out without necessarily having to change foreign currency, so that when I'm coming back the next time, I can still do something.
I think I go with the same theory, but let's put a couple of things into context here, right? And this is the reason why I'm kind of going on about this whole begging situation, why I don't really like it. And the reason being is I was just looking and doing some research, right? So let's put some things into context in terms of UK. So the average salary of an immigration officer is about £30,000, just about. Now, I'm sure the two of us, no, that's correct. So average is 30,000 for the immigration. It's 23, or let's just call it about 24,000 for airport security. So £24,000 for airport security. The check-in agents for the airlines earn between £10 to £13 an hour. Now, if anybody understands what that means, you'd know it's not the highest salary in the world when we talk about cost of living. Because I was actually just going to look at it, and who has an average living cost of, let's even call it just £2,000. That's not enough. That's not enough in terms of salary. So then you talk about the airport agents earning £10 to £13 an hour. So for me, why are they not begging then? Because at the end of the day, you're not earning the highest salary, right? Compared to how much you have to spend on, transportation, on feeding. And by the way, guy, things have gone up now, bro. And I'm sure salaries haven't. Petrol's gone off the roof, food's gone off the roof, a lot of things are becoming so expensive, rental's gone off the roof. I'm sure a lot of landlords have increased. Everything's gone up. But the thing is, in Nigeria, everyone will say, oh, it's only in Nigeria.
I think the culture is also a thing that plays into that as well.
Well, I just think like people who travel shouldn't really encourage that, because again, culture, yes, but the thing is, you've got a job, right? I'll give you another example. The guys who are always hustling outside, when you come out the airport, they're trying to get your bags and all that. Those guys, I don't really mind, because at the end of the day, they're hustling. Do you get what I'm saying? So those ones, sometimes I just let them carry my bag, just make sure I have tight eye on them. They'll carry my bag, go. But I will tip, because I realize you've come there to hustle, you've come there to earn a living by just trying to help and do stuff, since you don't have a day job that you can wake up to and get and earn a salary from. So I get that. So I always tip those guys, because they help. But there's no guaranteed pay though. There's no guarantee. So you wake up, you go, but there's no guaranteed pay. Because everybody could refuse you. Everybody coming could just think of you as someone that's gonna steal their bag. Do you get what I'm saying? So they kind of say, okay, no, I don't want you to touch it. Don't touch my bag, blah, 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 because everybody's afraid of everybody coming in Nigeria. Don't touch my stuff. You get away from me, bruv. So you do that. So that's fine. But what I'm just trying to say is you have that. But then again, you do have good people, because I'll tell you, I'll give you an experience. I was traveling from Abuja down to Lagos. I was very late. By the way, I'm gonna call this company. Anybody fly this company? I know I'm doing advertisement here, advertising, but it's good. eBomb Air is a very good airline. Well, up until now, these guys are never late, bruv. They're never late. So I've known that they're never late. So they always check in. They close their check-in like 30 minutes before the flight. So I got to the airport. I had to even jump the line to get to the queue to the airport. I got there about 12:33. The flight leaves at 1. Yeah. So I was just thinking to myself, okay, look, hopefully they'll let me in. So I get to the desk. The girl there was like, no, sorry, we closed the desk. I was like, man, please, man. So she was like, no, sorry, we closed the desk. So this is where the magic starts to happen. She says, speak to my supervisor. Maybe she might let you in. So I go to the supervisor. Bro, I'm almost on my knees, bro. Forget. I know ego went out the door, bro, because I know how much money I paid for that flight. I know how much stuff I had to do. So I was like telling her, like, please. She was like, no. No. So anyway, I had to like just beg her and just say, look, please, I really appreciate if you can just help me. It's only a couple of minutes. I just had a couple of issues. Rare. Then she said yes, right? Boom. So she says yes, bro. Now, talking about culture, this is now where I'm now feeling like I'm obligated to give her something now, because you're always settling, isn't it? Someone can't even do the right thing without you thinking you need to give money. So this is the thing. I brought out £20, bro. Do you know how much £20 is in Naira right now?
Yeah, you made her day.
Bro, she refused the money.
Really? Oh,
she refused
that.
Bro, I wasn't expecting that. She refused the money. Bluntly said, no, I'm just doing my job. And I thought to myself, £20, do you know how much you just made, bro? She said, no, absolutely not. She said she wasn't taking it, and she did not take that money, bro.
I was shocked. I didn't think that's where the story was going.
Bro, that's what I'm trying to tell you, that there are good, the bad, and the ugly. But this one was good. She said absolutely not. And I'll say that again, Ibom Air, anybody flying from Abuja or even in Lagos in Nigeria, that is a place you need to always book your flight. They're not going to be the cheapest, but trust me, they're more reliable than most of the airlines. Always on time. The worst wait I've ever had is probably an hour. I don't even think it was up to an hour. Compared to flights that, get cancelled, and bruv, you're on your own. You're on your own.
The Chachangi, I remember back then, they were always like, they were always on time.
Yeah.
And then at some point in time, things change. Then
things change,
being on time. And then it's like, whoa, if you've got how they say that if you've got a late flight, you just be thinking, well, is that flight going to leave at 5 or is it going to leave at 12 midnight?
Yeah, but like I said, this particular airline, staff-wise, everything, I think they've trained their staff to be a certain way. So I will take it that she was definitely not even going to accept any money on any level. She was just adamant that no. But this is the thing, and accept that a process is a process. And if you're not, following the process, then you have to kind of like face the consequences. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, we can't always expect like Nigerians, have all these loopholes and not expect it to affect us. So it's not a one-sided way. So I know I'm complaining about the whole begging situation, but to be honest with you, sometimes it's almost like you force things as well to be able to open some back doors, if you could, and I think that's not good. I've definitely stopped it. I definitely go by the rule. I try my best to make sure and I only tip people who are helpful. That is my rule now. I only tip people who are helpful. But anyway, guys, listen, it's been a long convo, and as usual, myself and Master L have been doing what we do. Don't get distracted by traveling to Nigeria. It's always fun, it's always good times. You'll always have a good time, but please encourage anybody that who works at the airport to just do their job properly. Don't stress people out. It's already stressful, just traveling anyway. But hey, it is what it is. But as we normally say, we've been serving some puff and we will be coming back. But before then, guys, follow us on the Puff Show Instagram and follow me on Dr Timey Official Instagram. And until next time, Master L, if you got anything to say.
Absolutely, people. Let's keep this rolling, though. We love coming to you with the vibes. We love coming to you with what's hot. We love coming to you and serving the people. So we'll be back at it again. Like Dr. Timey said, follow us, click on it, share it, let the people know the pop-up show is open and ready to go.
Yep. Until next time, Dr. Timey, easy does it.
Master out.